Greeting everyone, welcome back for another video. We got green elves here with green sun Zenith. This is a more of a combo focused build that seems to be honestly what elves lends itself to these days. There are still value builds or shaman builds with the splashing black. You can splash white for sideboard cards and a few key cards in the main deck. But seen a couple 5-0 lists, and this seems to be the way of it. There was that one 5-0 list that only played one Leaf Crown Visionary, which just seems wild to me because I think it's one of the best cards. But we'll go through how to play if you're not familiar with elves, or yeah, if you're not familiar with it, go ahead and watch on. If not, you can skip forward to the match. We hope to get a couple matches in. But the way elves work, well, you turn your guys sideways, but you don't do it to attack. You have your 1-drops here that just tap for green mana. Play a full 8 of those. Some are down to 7, which I think is fine. And then you have Priest of Titania, which taps for a lot of green mana. 1 for each elf on the battlefield. Obviously, as early as turn 2, you can have 3, 4 on the battlefield, thanks to Dwinin's Elite or Elvish Warmaster. Dwinin's Elite immediately gives you another elf. Warmaster gives you one once another elf enters and can trigger once every turn. Better over the long run, but Dwinin's is immediate, which allows you to activate your Heritage Druid faster. So the combo is based on Heritage Druid, really, is kind of the key of the combo, which is you tap 3 untapped elves you control, add 3 mana. It includes tapping itself, and it doesn't matter whether or not they have Summoning Sickness, because this ability is not the same as using a tap ability. So, Heritage Druid allows you to tap things for mana. Nettle Sentinel untaps every time you cast a green spell. As you notice, our entire deck is green spells, with the exception of some lands. So once you get 3 Nettle Sentinels, every spell generates 3 green mana, and as most of your spells only cast 1 or 2 mana, you actually generate mana every time you cast a spell. Even with just 2 Nettle Sentinels, basically every other thing you cast is a green elf that you can, or is an elf that you can tap for Heritage Druid. And then Leaf Crown Visionary is the other piece of the puzzle, because obviously just creating a bunch of mana does nothing if you just empty your hand, but Leaf Crown Visionary allows you to pay 1 extra green and draw a card every time you cast an elf spell. So again, you generate 3 mana, you cast a 1-drop, you pay 1 mana to draw a card, you still go up a mana and you've drawn a card. Once you get multiple Visionaries, you can trigger them multiple times. Basically, if you untap with the Priest of Titania and you get Heritage Druid into play, you usually and can somehow get a Leaf Crown, you can combo off. So, you can find your Nettle Sentinels along the way. Green Sun Zenith helps kind of pull this whole puzzle together by finding whatever you need of those pieces. If you need the Leaf Crown or you need the Heritage Druid, it can go get it. If you already have Heritage Druid and Leaf Crown, it can go grab a Nettle Sentinel. It's a very powerful card. Eladamri allows you to play creatures off the top, which allows you to essentially forego paying the extra mana for Leaf Crown Visionary unless you see a land, and then you can draw that land to always basically keep a creature on top and keep churning through your deck. The Disciples of Freylease obviously help with that. It is a green elf that is one of our untapped lands when we need it. Sylvan Messengers are more card advantage. You look at the top 4 and get all elves to your hand. Playing the one of Craterhoof, it's not necessary. You can win with just Azuri activations, or if they somehow, exile this or whatever, you can win with Warmaster activations. It just costs a lot more mana, and there's some times where you're going off. You can go off as early as turn 2. You can often set up for a turn 3. There's some times when you're going off early that you actually are kind of short on mana generation, and so Craterhoof I like because you can take advantage of Eladamri's activation to kind of play it for free off the top or out of your hand. Not free, but 1 mana and 2 creatures. It also just is less clicks than generating. Sometimes you have to generate 25 mana to get 5 activations of Azuri, and that just takes forever and draws through your entire deck. Where just casting a Craterhoof, the opponent will concede. It's, like I said, not necessary, probably not technically correct, but I'm going to play it because I like it, and it's a little faster. Sideboard, we're a green deck, so we get to play Veil. We get to take advantage of Vexing Bauble, which is nice. We're always paying for our spells, with the exception of the one Endurance sometimes. But we're often just going to be green sunning for it anyway. But yeah, we can use that to punish decks that are playing things like forces, and what are the other? The affinity cards and hollow ones. The list goes on. There's a lot of free spells out there. That's a Solitude decks. Skylasher is here for the Dimir decks. It can notably infinitely block a frog so that they don't get their draw card triggers. It can't be countered, obviously. It doesn't. It can still die to removal, but a pretty powerful card against the blue decks. We have Oof, which is obviously great against Affinity. And basically any Moxable deck, we're putting this in. We're going to Green Sun Zenith for it unless we have a combo win that turn. And then Rex Age is another one that can destroy. We need this because Oof doesn't stop Damping Sphere. And this will remove a Damping Sphere for us to allow us to combo off. Endurance is obviously for graveyard decks. We play Ley Lines. This is mostly for any red deck, but especially for the energy decks. Having our creatures have +1 toughness and gaining life allows us to survive. They usually have a decent amount of removal as well as threaten us. We need our creatures to have 1 more toughness so we can actually block the cat. Otherwise, they will just eventually go wider than us. So, why play elves? It is a decently powerful and somewhat consistent combo. It's not necessarily faster than something like Neobrand or even some of the Persist or Goryo's builds, but the upside is like you're playing creatures. The deck is essentially all creatures. Leafcrown Visionary, on top of being our draw engine, is also a lord, and so when someone is removing your Heritage Druids and countering spells and stuff, like you can still chip in for damage here and there, unless they're also a creature deck. And then like you have powerful cards here with Messenger and Green Sun Zenith that can kind of crawl back into a game, and Eladamri to some extent, and Azuri. Just fun is another reason why a lot of people love elves. I've always been a big fan of elves. I used to play green-black elves a lot. Just a brief thing about the mana base. No caverns. I like caverns, but because we want our Queer and Ranger to be turned on, we want more decent amount of forests. One of Pendelhaden, the one of Yamaya. 3 Besejus might be a lot. We might be able to trim a Beseju and a forest and put in a couple caverns. But the other reality is, because we're a monocolor, we don't need them as much, right? Where the green-black deck kind of needed caverns as well to fix mana. We don't really necessarily need that. Most of our spells cost 1, so it's like we could cavern to cast the Heritage Druid, and then they could just counter our next spell, and then the Heritage Druid is useless, right? Like, we can't repeatedly use caverns for our combo turns. That is better in a deck that wants to cast 1 or 2 elves a turn, and can utilize it all the time. So I think it has less impact on this particular build than in most elves decks. I think that's the right one, right? Let's jump in and hope to get a few, quick wins in here. Big fan of the green men, they're often called. Even though they're not men. They're elves. They're different. They're humanoid, though, I suppose. Let's get down to business to defeat everyone who's not elves. Just put it over here. Let's get that out of the way. Get that out of the way. Come on now. Pop. Come on, Q. Make elves come into play. Oh, man. Active players have been up. We get to be on the play. That's great. Against Kurno. We have 2 lands. They do hurt us quite a bit to come in untapped. Could turn 2 Eladamri, which is decent. We don't have Druid or Leaf Crown or Nettle Sentinel, though. And these 2 3-drops are a little clunky, especially in the low land hand. So we are going to take a mull. This is much more keepable. Sylvan Messenger and Leaf Crown are powerful cards, and we have Accelerants. We want to keep both lands. I think with Leaf Crown, I'd rather have the Accelerants and the Dwindens Elite. Turn 1, Mystic. Turn 2, Leaf Crown. Mystic, but I can't pay the trigger. Turn 3, Messenger, so I guess we'll cut the Dwindens Elite. It's worse if we draw a Heritage Druid, I guess, but decent overall. I'll lead on Pendelhaven, because that's a fun land to lead on. And we'll see what we're facing. Black, green. Oh my gosh. If we're facing like Yawgmoth, that's just gonna be a drag. I think we're just gonna play out. I should have done this before so I don't have to say no to the stupid trigger. Play out as much as we can, and then hope next turn to just Messenger into some gas. We can't get the draw off Messenger's trigger, but we hopefully can draw 2 or 3 cards off of it. Walking Bowmasters and Ballista and Soul Cauldron. So he takes the Soul Cauldron. He has Ballista in the graveyard. This is not bueno for us. Yikes. I guess he has to get counters on them, but he plays all this stuff. If we just draw a Heritage Druid, we could maybe start going off, but so I just double Leaf Crown. I think we will, because then that kind of protects my Leaf Crowns. Yeah. Because of Soul Cauldron and this, like I don't want him to just be able to ping off my creatures, and double Leaf Crown kind of gets me up out of that range at least. I also can, in emergency, just activate this to return something that he's going to kill to my hand. Legendary. Oh, is this Grist? No, has he got Yawgmoth already? Yikes. He only has one other creature at least. He's going to put a -1/-1 counter on it and draw a card. Okay. But only one. Okay, he's down to 9. He could block 3, take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Thanks to him doing this, I think I have lethal. Let's check 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. He's like, wait a minute. By putting him to 1, he can't activate again, and he couldn't use a fetch or whatever. So, anyways, that was kind of funny. Don't know. I think Leyline. It's hard. Because like losing a card from your hand against a deck that's gonna grind you out feels bad, but I think we definitely want the Veils. I want Oof because he plays Soul Cauldron. I want Endurance. I kind of want Vitalities. I don't think we need Baubles at all. What do we take out? Like these are value. Everything's value. I guess Azuri Regenerate isn't as good. If we're keeping the Craterhoof win con. It's gotta be some of our 1-drops, right? But it can't be all of our 1-drops. Something like that. Maybe just Leyline isn't worth it. Because this one's actually kind of bad in this matchup. Boom, boom, boom. Let me tell you how this would be great with the land. We have one land. We have Green Sun, Land Wars, and a Veil. We will keep. Cut the War Master from that. Hopefully, I don't have turn 1 Thoughtseize. Although I've got some pretty good, choices for them to make. No, they got the turn 1 Green Sun for Dried Arbor. Should I do the same? I kind of land more elves. Assuming if I don't draw land, I can Mystic and hold up Veil, which I think is worth it. We're gonna probably Green Sun for Heritage Druid. Bowmaster sucks. That's another reason for Vitality. Veil would have been nice. So do this and hold up Veil, I think. I guess I could just go get. I think this is correct. I need Vitality. What do I cut though? Court for Yawg. Didn't actually draw. I don't get to draw a card because he didn't actually cast a black spell, which is annoying. But yeah. I don't really ever get to build a board from here, yeah. Can Green Sun for anything that stops Yawgmoth? Don't think so. Wild Roots is a fun card. Sacking the Lost Roots give -1 here. Then I can sack that, do -1 there. Just trying to draw into another Young Wolf or something. Grist is good. I don't think we can really come back from this, unfortunately. I don't think it's worth playing it out. I want ley lines. That is the question. What do I cut? Maybe trim on a priest, honestly. It's like these are. Bring in a couple. I don't know if that's correct. Nettle Sentinel, Elvish Mystic. These are just so clunky right here. Not enough gas there. Of course, I have double vitality, no land. So we're mulling into oblivion here. What can I keep? It feels bad getting rid of Leaf Crown or Nettle Sentinel. But I like double vitality, but I think we're going to have to just keep one. Yeah. Double would have been so nice. Sentinel's not a terrible start. The only weird part is like I want to swing with him, but I want him to have the buff. But if I want to untap him, I have to wait to cast this until after I swing. I'll probably just play Leaf Crown first, so he swings for 3, and trust that I'll grab something next turn. Creature? Little clunky. I should say always yes. So he's not going to block and go to 17 here. This is a bad. I mean, Yawg is historically just a bad matchup for any like creature-based deck. It's very good at dealing with creatures. Yeah, you can't kill my stuff. Thanks. Of course, Ochre Spider Masters is great if we're trying to draw through our whole deck. For them, not great for us. I need a land or a 1 or 2 drop creature. Okay, we got the creature. That's fine. I think I'll go ahead and draw 1 here. I'm obviously not going to draw a ton because this token will get huge. Also put a damage on that, so definitely don't want to get too nuts. I also have to choose here between getting this priest into play or swinging for 3. I'll get the priest in play. I know I could play this, but I think I'd rather get the priest first, and then Eladamri's ability will still work next turn. It feels bad not drawing a card there, but obviously we can't afford to lose our. I swing here 1, 2, 3, 4. He could block with everything, but I think I'm fine if we get to kill this Orcish Bowmaster, and if he just doubles blocks, it's not enough. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, if we get to untap with a priest, Heritage Druid, and a Leaf Crown, we're in decent shape, but not fully. Usually if you untap with that, it's like a win. It's just not because of Orcish Bowmasters. Green some for 3. What do you have for 3 that matters? Oh, Gris. So you're gonna kill Priest or Leaf Crown? Should be Leaf Crown. Priest. I guess he has Leaf Crown kind of under control with the Bowmaster. Is his thought, I assume. Awkwardly, I can't tap 3, so I can't play either of these, which doesn't untap this, which is just annoying. I guess we're just gonna attack and kill the Grist. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'll let you keep the Grist if you're willing to sack this Bowmaster. He's not. Call his bluff. I'm not sure why he didn't just attack with the 1/1 Bowmaster. Soul Cauldron's decent. So this becomes a Grist. Oh no, he didn't exile his Grist. He exiled. Priest is. Oh my gosh. Priest counts my elves against me? That's so rude. Never knew that. I've never had a priest get Soul Cauldron before. That's a fun one. Come on, deck. Are you kidding me? There's like literally 3 cards in the deck that were a dead draw, and I drew one of them. There's like 1 Azuri and the Crater Hoof are like my only dead draws at this point. So frustrating. Any 1 drop, even a land. I have so many lands and 1 drops and 2 drops. I draw the 4 drops. Running Messenger has been what has probably lost us the game this game. But it is what it is. Yawgmoth, great. Kill my board, awesome. Can activate it as Grist and then tap for mana. Yikes. Failed to find a creature? What was he trying to do there? Gets to wipe our board. Draw, what, 4 more cards, 5 more cards. He's burning through his life, but doesn't really matter. He's going to leave us with 2 lands and nothing. Hey, we're going to finally draw a 1-drop. There it is. Okay. Probably sideboarded incorrectly, but I know that's a bad matchup. Let's see what we can, if we can face a more normal deck. Not a super good at interacting with creatures, creature combo deck. Come on, give me a deck to face. Lots of active players. People are loving Modern. Also helps that a lot of people have paid the whatever it was, $15 for the token, so they can play whatever cards they want. Hope everyone's having a great holiday time. It's been crazy. Okay, we got 2 lands. Nettle Sentinel, Heritage Druid, Dwindle's Leaf Crown. Perfect. Green Ranger. It's pretty good. This is a pretty good 7. Obviously, there's a lot of things that could interrupt it, but feeling pretty good. Turn 1 Sentinels, turn 2 swing for 2, second main. No, I have to start the Heritage Druid Dwindle's Leaf. It's been a while, sorry folks. My experience of players being like, what? Why would you start on this? Heritage Druid, turn 2, Dwindle's Leaf, tap for 3, make a Leaf Crown. Plus Nettle Sentinel? Even though I can't draw off of it? Probably. If it survives, this looks like a bolt deck. What is our opponent doing? They are just clicking down the clock. Here we go, here we go, here we go again. Here we go again. I should have known, should have known, should have known again. What are you doing, Fumikin? Fumikin? Fumikin. I would like to play a forest. I would like to cast a druid that has heritage. Look at all that heritage. Look at all the dead people around that druid. Our opponent is thinking. They're thinking, wow, that druid does have heritage. What am I going to do about that? We're going to fetch a Thundering Falls. That's my guess. Oh no, we're facing the slowest player in Modern. I was hoping to maybe get a third match in, but if this match is going to go like this, I don't know if we're going to make it. I guess we could Twins Elite, tap for 3, play this one. I can't quite get everything going. Maybe it's 3 War Master plus Sentinel. Yeah. Because then we get 3 more for Leaf Crown. I don't know if we want to play the Druid out, Ranger out. We can untap again, but we won't have drawn any cards. Is it worth just emptying my hand? I can assume they're probably not playing a board wipe, so it's probably worth it. The only thing I'm thinking about is if I want to protect the Leaf Crown, and he might remove the War Master instead of the Heritage Root if he doesn't know we're like a combo-y deck, and then the next turn we can drop Leaf Crown and then hopefully draw cards off of it. Oh, it's a Hollowvine deck? No. Is this Grixis Murktide? You playing this slow, playing Grixis Murktide? Come on, Jimmy Johns. Nope. What? What is this? What is this? Is this a dredge? No, it is Hollowvine. Okay. Hollowvine with... What is... Okay, our opponent's up to something over there. Not too mad about what they're up to. I'm just mad at their speed of play. So you got your, 4/4 and your 3/4. I'm gonna make a bunch of dudes. And this is why Twin Elite is worth playing over just another War Master. War Master couldn't do this line, but it does get to do this line, which is fun. I like to tap those to create this one. Oh man, and I just so happen to have another. Unfortunately, can't draw a card. So I'm just going to empty my hand. Or do I want to keep this in hand to trigger this next turn? I think I want to keep this in hand to trigger next turn. Make 3. Oh, I can draw 1. Yeah, whatever. Let's just do it. Let's live a little, This one we can actually draw. And to always yield to this. Greens on Zenith. Not a bad draw. I can Quirion Ranger to get 3 mana to go get what? I guess another Leaf Crown? Actually, I mean, if I want a combo, it would be another Nettle Sentinel, but then I'm done for the turn. I think I'll save it. Let's bet against discard, though. Are they playing discard? I don't know if they have room for discard in a deck trying to do all the things. Am I getting anything by leaving these untapped? Could chump block, I guess, with this guy. I think we'll go for it. Debate really is if I just want another. If he has a removal, if I just get priest, I have all the mana. If I get Leaf Crown, though, I can turn. I have plenty of mana already. I think we'll get the double Leaf Crown here. Oh yeah, that makes our token. We have lots of mana. I mean, right now we only have 3, but yeah, I don't think we need the priest. Well, and Nettle Sentinel is also just ongoing mana, whereas this is ongoing card advantage. I can clearly tap it out. I mean, I also probably just have lethal with double Leaf Crown. 3, 7, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 4s. Right? 1, 2, 16 and 15. Yeah, 30. Yep. Okay, we just made enough to kill him. Cool. We'll bring in the baubles, the endurance, maybe Skylashers. Probably a Rex Age is fine. I don't know that I need Veils. I don't know that they're actually playing discard or counter magic. I don't know how much removal they can fit into their deck. It looks like they're doing a lot of stuff. I'll kind of trim around the edges here. Didn't see us as a combo deck. We kind of just looked like a good green elves deck. But that was fun. It was a fun turn where it was like we always had more than I thought. Heritage Root is just such a busted card. So you got to see the full strength there. Dwindles Elite into multiple War Masters on turn 2. I mean, that was our turn 2. We ended up with, what, 30-something power in play, 2 Leaf Crowns, and like a total of 12 creatures or something crazy like that. That is the beauty of elves. His hand is not nearly as crazy, but I think I'm going to keep. I like the turn 2 Land War into Priest, plus Nettle Sentinel if we want, into Leaf Crown, make a bunch of mana. I also have Boseiju. If they happen to get like a turn 1 Hollow one, we can decide to kill that in turn 2 instead of develop our board, and then gives us some time off. Here we go again. Come on, Fumikin. A lot of decisions to make, I suppose. Oh, they're stopping us in our draw step. I just got a little Llanowar elf. You gotta bolt him. Bolt the elf. If he does bolt him, I think we're probably just playing the Boseiju out. I don't know. Depends on this turn too, honestly. Excuse me. Oh, Thought Scour? Turn Scolding. Well, I didn't expect that. Color me confused. We'll see what our opponent does. If they do nothing, I will play Boseiju and play Priest. I want to get this without Summoning Sickness, so if I can get it out, and then the next turn we can double Sentinel tap for 3. Opponent is playing something. Merfolk. Almost feels like a Vengevine list with the creature one. Blazing Root Walla is specifically only on discard, not mill. He did hit a hollow one. I'm so confused. What is this chef cooking over there? I am impressed. Might end up having to bolt myself to get our 3rd land, but it will be worth it because we can go. Do I want to go all 3 Nettle Sentinels into Leaf Crown? I want to try to get at least 1 draw off the Leaf Crown. Okay, here we go. So it might be like Nettle Sentinel, tap for 3, Leaf Crown, Nettle Sentinel. No, it doesn't give me a trigger. And then, yeah, pay 1 more. Depends on what else we draw. If we draw a Heritage Druid, we're in business, folks. Stitcher Supplier. I feel like we've seen enough cards that like we know their whole deck, and I'm still not sure what it's doing. How does he get his prize amalgams back? We've seen Root Wallas, Psychic Frogs, Stitcher Supplier, Street Wraith. He does have Vengevines. Okay, it is a Vengevine list. So he's got to get his Vengevines here with the Seeker Keeper, which means he gets the 1 amalgam. I mean, it's a decent board for turn 3, I guess, but obviously it would be better if he had hit better. Bubble, a little late. Probably isn't worth it for. I mean, it stops Hollow One and Root Walla, I suppose. But not really what we wanted to draw here. There we go, like this. do this. Right now it's got a tap for 3. Draw a card here. Green Sun Zenith. I'm 1 short of being able to go get our beautiful, wonderful Heritage Druid. So I can do that next turn. I'm going to play out the Vexing Bauble. It will stop, I guess, hollow ones. I swing it for 7. I could afford to lose a Nettle Sentinel. I'll still have 2, even if I lose 1 this turn. So we might have to chump block. Stitcher Supplier, Stern. So he's got Merfolk, Stitcher, Frog, Rootwalla, Hollow One, Vengevine, Street Wraith, 7, Faithless Looting. That's 8. 8 4-ofs would be 32 cards. That's most of his deck. We'll go to 5. I don't think he can kill us from here. The awkward thing about Bobble is he can try to only, if he only discards 2 cards, then he can still hollow 1 for 1 mana. It might not be as relevant against him as I thought. I'm actually probably going to take it out if we have a game 3. I think we might have this one. Green Sun Zenith is just so good. If he has a, I don't know what his last card is, obviously. Could be Thoughtseize, could be a counterspell, could be, who knows. It is a Blazing Rootwalla. Play this too, right? Might as well. Cast your Merfolk. What are you doing over there? You have no cards in hand. You have 1 mana. You have 1 thing. What else could you do? What could possibly be going through your brain right now? Because if we have an extra mana, this is a card draw at least. So we'll start on this for 2. We'll get Heritage Druid. We'll tap the Nettle Sentinels and the Heritage Druid to cast this. We'll draw a card. We'll have 1 mana floating. We'll have all 3 Nettle Sentinels untapped. Tap them infinitely for mana as long as we cast the green spells. Nice, another 1-drop is great. Our opponent hopefully just passes the turn because they have no interaction. Always yes. Unlike 1 druid that Heritage is. I'll cast another druid that Heritage is. I would like to draw a card, please. We got the combo, so to speak. If we blank here, we might just have to go ahead and cast out this Disciple. Don't forget we have a priest that taps for a bunch of mana still. I guess I'd start by sacking the bubble before I did that. Going up a lot in mana here. It'd be fun to just, come on, let's just draw a Crater Hoof. Your opponent technically has 3 blockers. I don't think they are like supposed to concede just yet, but they should concede. Hey, I got Green Sun Zenith. Do I have enough? 10. Yeah. We needed a Green Sun Zenith for 8. Oh, I forgot to tap those for mana, but whatever. Where is my Great Hoof? Trigger. I'd like to go to combat, please. I like to swing for a bazillion. 10, 20, 30, 40 plus 2, 4, 8. 48 damage. Well, that was fun. Obviously, went a lot better game 2. Not really sure what our opponent's deck was, but we got to see very efficient turn 2 and 3 from our deck. And like I said, as soon as I saw that it was Yawgmoth, it's not that great of a matchup. If Yawgmoth becomes a top deck, like tier 1, very popular, then I wouldn't try taking Elves out. But still managed to steal a game from him. Like, it is a powerful strategy, and probably with proper sideboarding might have maybe eked one out. But they had really good draws, game 2 and 3. But a lot of fun. This deck is powerful. I think that some version of this build. I saw one with 4 messenger, one less of these. I think without this and one of those. And without the Crater Hoof, right? I don't think it's super necessary. I think you could maybe play more Quirion Ranger or Wirewood. You could play some number more of these guys, as well as I do sometimes like the Elvish Visionary, right? It's just a 2-mana draw card. As a way to, like, when you're tapping for 3 mana, you play it, it draws you a card, and with 1 more mana and one of these, you could draw 2 cards while staying mana neutral. Can sometimes get you ahead on a turn where you're, like, low on resources. And, like, 1 land draw is going to stop your chain, But if you like Elves, I think that mono green, I've tested a lot. I tried red splash with Breakout. I tried black splash with Shamans, Chords, and Green Suns. I kept cutting Chords and cutting down on these 3 drops, played multiples of them and just found that I didn't really need them. I like the 2 Eldamari. It's a great turn to play in virtually any matchup. It's great while you're comboing. You want to see one of them, you just don't ever really want to see a second one. Definitely not 3rd or 4th, and so I think 2 might be the right number. And like I said, I like having the Crater Hoof just because it's a lot shorter. I could have fetched up to the Zuri there, and I had enough mana to already activate him twice, which I think would have been lethal, but we might have had to click a few more things to get up to 15 mana, and it's not that big of a deal, but it just, saves me some time. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Elves. I hope you enjoy, and I will have a video with the last 3 matches up, hopefully tomorrow. Have a great day.